Hello and welcome back to the NFL DFS slate breakdown for Thursday night football. We got the Eagles versus the Giants, and we're going to break down that game shortly. I am your host, Tyler Weeman. Before we get into it, come join us at LINESTAR. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do, the props, the DFS. You get it all for one low price. Also, we have a free trial option. If you've never tried us out before, come download it on iOS or Android. Give us a try there. It is an absolutely great option. And what do you have to lose? It is free. Best price available, and it's 7-day free trial. Then you can stay for the $39.99 per month. Now, let's get into the fun, and we're going to start by a little game overview and some review of the slate, starting with the Eagles injuries. I don't have their official report yet as of today, but we got Saquon Barkley. He did return to practice yesterday, and he is limited. He plans to play. Landon Dickerson is likely to be out, as well as tight end Grant Calcaterra. Then we have Jahad Campbell, who's likely to play, Brian Young likely to play, and Dean is ready for action, full participant, and he is going to make his season debut. On the other side of the ball for the Giants, we got some interesting situations. We do have Tyrone Tracy. He is back. He is off the injury report totally and going to be playing as of for tomorrow's night's game. Drew Phillips, limited participant. Newbin, limited. Holland, limited. Full participant once again for Jackson Dart. Darius Slayton is going to be out. Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles is out. Bozeman out. And then L.A. Minor is questionable. So there is still some things we need to watch for the Giants. Having their tackle would definitely be helpful, but it is a interesting spot for sure. So yeah. Now let's get back into it. Miss Charity, yeah, I haven't been doing the MLB picks for the playoffs. Simply put, there's just some scheduling issues. If I did playoffs, I wouldn't be able to do it once the NBA season starts. So I just decided to not do playoffs. And I personally don't really bet MLB playoffs as it is. So I would be throwing out picks that I can't really get behind. So therefore, we're just not doing it. And we're waiting for basketball for another sport show, which is only a couple weeks away. I will, however, if you want to check our LineStar Twitter account, we will be putting up the Dinger tool on there, so you can go at least get some of that data for it. Now, more on the matchup here. 40.5 game total. The Giants are 7-point home dogs. Doesn't happen that often. And the big kind of takeaway from the injury report is Tracy's back and he is good to go. Obviously, Neighbors is gone once again. And so we got Wan'Dale Robinson and then a bunch of Jags, just guys kind of behind Robinson. The one interesting aspect last week without Neighbors, they ran way more 12 personnel, meaning 2 tight ends out there. Bellinger, who is the tight end 2, played 52% of the snaps. He played more than Hyatt or Collins. So essentially, makes Theo Johnson and Scattaboo kind of the wide receiver 2. And, as far as where the targets were going, they are absolutely interesting in this play or in this game. Now let's get over to the game breakdown and break it down position by position as we generally do here. So we got Jalen Hurts. We got Jackson Dart. obviously, the two quarterbacks in this situation, Hurts is only 800 more than Jackson Dart, and he's in a much better spot. So the defense of the Giants is vulnerable through the pass or the run. However, they are more vulnerable through the run as they're giving up an EPA per play at 0.101. Whereas the secondary, is a little bit worse. It's 0.039 EPA per play that the Giants are giving up. So I think this is going to be a run-focused game for the Eagles. And if we just look at what's going on with the Eagles, the one game that they really opened it up and passed, 38 passing attempts, they lost. So I just don't think it is a winning recipe for them to come into this game going, we're going to air it out. I think they're going to have to be forced into a throwing situation. Now, that does not mean that Hurts isn't a good play because of the rushing upside. And he's actually hurt the Giants on the ground most of the time he's played versus them. 2 rushing touchdowns last year versus them. 1 rushing touchdown, 34 yards in 2023. This other game was, the last game of the season. He really didn't play that much. And then in 2022, he had 2 rushing touchdowns in 3 games. So his rushing upside makes him 100% viable in this situation and in this spot. So I definitely don't mind playing some Jalen Hurts, and he is absolutely playable in the captain spot due to his rushing upside. He bangs 2 touchdowns on the ground, and he's definitely the captain for the day. Then we have Jackson Dart on the other side. Now, Dart's played 2 games, 2 decent fantasy performances here with a 20 and a 19 in a single game spot. With his rushing upside, there's a ton of outs for him to be a piece that you needed, a piece in this optimal lineup. Now, the thing that I find very interesting about this Eagles defense is they're actually letting guys or teams move the ball between the 20s fairly well. They are, plus in EPA outside of the red zone and then negative inside the red zone. So they really clamp down in the red zone, but there's going to be yards for this Giants team. But touchdowns might be the issue here for the Giants. And that's a long way of saying where I have some apprehension in playing too much of the Giants passing game pieces because I don't know if they're going to be able to bang the ball in. Now, Dart, with his rushing upside, 7 for 55, 10 for 54, and a touchdown, you can absolutely still play him. And I think that is the way to him being optimal in this spot. And over the last 4 games, they're allowing 25 rushing yards per game to the quarterback, almost 21 over the season. And we look who the Giants have played. They've played some good quarterbacks and quarterbacks that can rush a little bit. Nix, Mayfield, Stafford doesn't rush. They shut him down, but Rams gave it to him and made that a game. Mahomes did it on the ground. Dak Prescott was pretty shut down. All in all, I'm pretty much just playing Dart because of rushing upside. I don't love his passing upside in this spot. And if you go to our team defense tool, we have the Eagles 11th versus QB, 10th for the Giants. Now, getting over to the running back spot, starting with the highest owned, and obviously the highest owned, we got Saquon Barkley at 11.6K. Now, I already said the Giants' run D is their weakness, and we got the revenge narrative here. We obviously know that Saquon used to be on the Giants, and I think he's still a little bit hurt by how they went about negotiating the contract. He wanted to stay. he wanted and he was willing to pay or play for only 10, 11 million, but the Giants just didn't really go about it in a good way, in an upfront way with him, and he left. We have an 18-point projection. Consensus is 18. They are 27th versus running back, meaning the Giants, and we have a 3.5-star alert score. Barkley is obviously in a decent spot, and he cooked the Giants last year. 17 for 176, 2 receptions, 11 yards, and a tutty. They won 28-3. Now, this Eagles team and this Eagles offensive line is not as good as it was last year. So I don't think you can expect that type of outburst, but I am betting the Barkley yards over, and Giants have been vulnerable enough through the run that I do think Saquon is a great play. Absolutely a captain possibility, even though he hasn't had that great of a year thus far. Still, 4 touchdowns in 5 games. He is a main piece of this offense, and I expect him to get it going in this game. I'm definitely playing him in the captain a bit, and he's going to be, a mainstay in my lineups. Next, we do have a little bit. Oh, I also need to say about Saquon before we move on. He has been limited in practice. He has general knee soreness. So with that, if the Eagles get a big lead, I do think there's a little bit higher likelihood of him being pulled a little early, just so they can give him a little more rest. All right, Giant side, we got Tyrone Tracy back. He was operating as the lead prior to him getting hurt. Now, I think that Scadaboo has absolutely shown that he should be the lead running back on this team. So I still do expect him to get the majority of the touches. But we have no idea what they're going to do. There is a chance that Tracy just comes back in his old role. I also think there is a chance that they could play Tracy out wide a little bit. Tracy was a wide receiver in college. His last year of college, he transitioned to a running back and was drafted as a running back. I do think he is a better player as a running back, but this Giants team's very hurt at wide receiver. Wouldn't be super surprised if they put one of their playmakers out wide who could run a couple routes in Tyrone Tracy. So I think there is a chance that both of these guys, Scadaboo and Tracy, play on the field a little bit together. Scadaboo, I do expect to be the lead in this spot. He just does everything well. While he doesn't have, major explosiveness, he gets the tough yards and plays with an intensity that the Giants frankly need against this Eagles team. So I think while Tracy's back, Scadaboo is definitely still the lead and likely one to get the goal line carries. Eagles have been a little beatable on the ground. 97 rushing yards per game, 4 receptions, 41 reception yards, 0.6 touchdowns per game. 24 is their opponent rank. And then the Scadaboys, 48 rushing yards a game, 28 receiving yards. He is absolutely a dual threat. He has two tutties. While I think it's going to be a hard game for these Giants to score too many touchdowns, I think Scadaboo is definitely probably would be my pick as far as the Giants that's most likely to score a touchdown. With Tracy back, Singletary is not really an option. I do not expect him to be playing too much. The only reason he's popping up is that he is only 2K. The Tyrone Tracy news of him being off the injury report also just came out, so ownership probably hasn't caught up to that. Shipley, A.J. Dillon, they are really the 2A and 2B in this situation. If Barkley is pulled early because it's a blowout, I think these guys are playable. As far as the matchup tool, Philly's giving it up a little bit to RB. Dobbins, 79 and a tutty. Irving went nuts. It was in the passing game, though, that he had his big game here. 5 receptions for 102 and a touchdown. If you guys remember, he broke like a 70-yard passing play. Kyron did okay. Chiefs run game has been awful. And then Javonte did all right. Teams have been able to run the ball a little bit. So I think Scottaboo firmly in play here. And on a team defense tool, Eagles are grading out at 26th right now versus the RB1. Now let's get over to the wide receiver spot. All right, so we got these wide receivers for the Eagles totally have underwhelmed thus far in the season. AJ Brown, Barkley, Hurts had a closed door meeting between them, trying to get all on the same page and get going here. And while that's great, this game, I still don't expect a huge one for AJ Brown. As we have seen, AJ Brown can totally disappear in this game plan. They simply just don't have to throw that much. And with that, I don't love this spot for AJ Brown. Now, if it happens, I would expect it to happen in the first half, because if they get a lead, they're just going to run the ball down the throats, and it makes no sense to risk throwing when you have such a good running game. So AJ Brown, there's absolutely path to his success, but he is not going to be one of my favorite plays for the day. Now, this Giant secondary is allowing 184 yards per game, a touchdown a game. They're 30th. AJ Brown can break a big play and make it to be optimal, or make it to be the optimal captain even. So I'm fine still playing him. I'm just not going to go super, super hard on him. We know the upside is there, but so far he hasn't done much this year outside of the one game versus the Rams. The Giants are going to have to come out, I think, and punch the Eagles in the face right off the bat for them to really be throwing the rock around. Simply just not the way the Eagles win games these days. Wan'Dale Robinson, 7,200. 10-point projection, as well as the consensus, coming in around 36% owned. He's the only wide receiver on the Giants you can actually count on, and it's not in a great matchup. And if the Eagles go shadow with Mitchell on Wan'Dale Robinson, I think his ceiling is gone. I don't love Wan'Dale in this spot. The targets are going to be there. They're going to have to be there a little bit. But there's just not a whole ton of pass I see to Wan'Dale Robinson really having success. But he is going to be the main passing option in this passing game. He's averaging 53.4 yards a game, has 1 touchdown. He's definitely the premier WR weapon. Now, they still have Theo Johnson. Does appear that Theo Johnson is going to be heavily used from here on out. Since Dart has taken over, he has like 12 targets in 2 games. So absolutely pass to Theo, taking some volume from Wan'Dale. All in all, Eagles D has been decent versus wide receivers, but I do probably prefer using, say, a Theo or a Scattaboo over Wan'Dale in this spot for my Giants love. Devontae Smith, pretty much same goes as AJ Brown. He needs passing volume to get going. The 2 games where Hurts threw over 30 passes, he has 9 targets and 10 targets. Absolutely involved if they have to throw. I just don't expect them to have to throw that much. So you're using Devontae Smith, you're using AJ Brown is game script dependent, and make sure when building those lineups, you're using those game script ideas when you're building. Hyatt, Bo Collins are the 2 that played the most on, for the Giants at wide receiver after Wan'Dale. Hyatt still only played like 45 or so percent of the snaps. He only got 3 targets. And then Collins played 30 something percent of the snaps, and he got 3 targets as well. either one of these guys you can play. Hyatt probably has more big playability, but the man just does not want to be a football player. He does not want to create contact. He does not go after contact. So the Giants, for him to break it, I do think they're going to really have to create some space for him. And it's yet to be seen if that can really happen. As far as the Eagles, third and fourth wide receivers, can it happen? Yes. Is it likely? No. You're talking about a spot where hopefully Dotson gets 3 targets. Just matters if one gets in the end zone or not. Now, let's get over to the tight end position. So the big news here, Calcaterra likely going to be out. Means Granson is going to step in a bit. He has been decent in his career, but he is not the pass catcher that Dallas Goedert is. Now, this is a tough matchup for Dallas Goedert. So far in the season, Giants 37. They're only allowing 37 yards, 0.2 touchdowns per game. Opponent ranked 9th. I don't see Goedert as the way the Eagles win this game. I think that it'll either be through the running game or, early in the first, second quarter, A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith just make a play. Dallas Goedert is lower on my list. Can he do it? Absolutely. He's been heavily involved. 5.5 targets per game. He missed one game too. He has 4 touchdowns on the year. So he's been heavily used in the red zone. I just think that it's not likely that is how Goedert scores. Now, one interesting aspect about this Giants defense is they have been very bad in the red zone. They are allowing 0.125 EPA per play in the red zone. And with that, Eagles, I do believe, are going to score some tutties. And Goedert already has 4 on the year. So you got to like that. On the Giants side, we got Theo Johnson. 5 targets versus the Chargers, 7 versus the Saints. These are the 2 games that our man Jackson Dart started, and he has 12 targets. He only has one other game of 5 targets. It is obvious that Dart likes Theo Johnson, and this man is an athletic freak. I think there's absolutely paths where he does well in this game, and I'm going to probably be playing him a lot. He is my preferred stacking partner with Dart if I'm using Dart. Also, would rather Scattaboo, kind of surprisingly, than Wandell in this spot, but he also has 3 touchdowns on the year, and that's with not being used too much prior to Dart taking over. He has 3 touchdowns in the 2 weeks with Dart. Dart also heavily involved Bellinger, who went 4 for 52. Bellinger played 52% of the snaps. That is more than Hyatt or Bo Collins. I think you can clearly play Bellinger in this spot at 2,800 on DraftKings. And he should be, a nice kind of low-owned leverage pivot here we can play. All right. Round this thing out, we got defenses and kickers. So Giants have been very bad inside the red zone. That just leads to more touchdowns and less field goals, which is bad overall for that Giants defense. Eagles, on the other side, have been very good in the red zone, but let teams move the ball. I think it's going to be hard for the Giants to score too many touchdowns. I am fine playing some Eagles defense. We still do have a rookie quarterback that's making his 3rd start. He is very green. He can make mistakes. This Eagles defense can get after the quarterback. And there's only one wide receiver to really worry about, and the Eagles have a very good corner that can shadow. So I think the paths for the Giants winning this game are slim. I'm fine playing the Eagles D. They need to be in the rotation. Then if we go over to the kickers, remember what I said here about the red zone defense for the Giants. it is poor. I think that hurts Elliott. Now, I do think the Eagles could put up a solid score, which will give him points still. But I think one of these ceiling type outcomes where he's able to go for 15, 20, I think that's out the window in this spot. I think the most likely outcome is they are efficient in the red zone. He gets, 2-3 extra points, and then maybe 1 or 2 field goals, and can't really build upon that. On the Giants side, it is a game where the Giants could have, 3, 4, 5 field goal attempts. The fact that the Eagles D are letting people move the ball does allow them to get into the field goal area for kicks. Now, we don't really know who it's going to be on as the field goal kicker yet. Younghoe Koo was signed. It is not sure who is going to be joined. Now, last week, it was still Jude McTemmy, but I think Koo could take this job over. It's kind of a wait and see approach, but Jude has been okay late. He hasn't had many attempts, hit all 3 extra points, hit both field goals. But if this is a game where field goals do have a real possibility, then I think Jude becomes, or Koo becomes, very interesting. Now, that's going to do it for us today. Nice little wrap up for our Thursday game. Please come join us at LINESTAR if you have not already. We do have the 7-day free trial option, the best mobile platform by far in the prop betting DFS space. Come join us today. Thank you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. It helps us a ton as a company and our channel. Talk to y'all later. Peace.